Hey, it's Rebecca, and you're listening to the Hike Like a Woman podcast. This is the weekly show where we talk about all things adventure travel, and I give you a little glimpse into the behind the scenes here at Hike Like a Woman headquarters. Thanks for joining me and enjoy today's episode. Hey, it's Rebecca. Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to tackle something big, something hard, actually. We're talking about why we, especially as women, should take on hard challenges because let's be real. Life is full of them. And instead of running away, what if we leaned in and what if we said, bring it on? So buckle up because we're about to dive into why doing hard things is not just worth it, but necessary for living our fullest lives. This actually is sparked by a conversation that I had in Peru. A few months ago, we were doing a group trek in Peru along the Salcante Trail. And I woke up one morning and I just couldn't get this thought out of my head. And the thought is, you know how a lot of people say we can do hard things? What if we took that one step up and instead of saying we can do hard things, what if we changed it to we should do hard things? I think we should do hard things because I think if we can learn to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, it builds that grit, it builds that resilience, and it's just going to make us stronger physically and mentally. So here's why we should do hard things. Hard things remind us how strong we are. If you have ever been on a group trip with me, you know that we have climbed some big, big mountains, and climbing those mountains is such an incredible metaphor for life because climbing mountains reminds us how strong we are. So maybe you're climbing a mountain. Maybe you're starting a business. I understand that too. I've started 4 businesses. 2 of those businesses were horrible failures. 1 was a success. And I don't know what's going on with Hike Like a Woman, but that's number 4. Maybe the hard thing is speaking up in a meeting where you feel like your voice isn't going to be heard. Maybe that hard thing is actually pulling up at a seat at the table and saying, I belong here. Maybe that hard thing we're doing is something. Maybe we have a challenging life situation. Maybe it's a medical diagnosis. Maybe we are about to go get our very first mammogram because we've found a lump in our breast. And I have been there too, my friend, right there with you. Maybe we're going through a difficult family situation with a partner, a spouse, a lover, a child, a parent, a grandparent. I guess what I'm really trying to say here is that every challenge we face has the potential to show us a version of ourselves we've never seen before. A version of ourselves that's quite often brave, capable, resilient. On the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, I discovered a version of myself that I didn't even know existed. On that mountain, my legs were burning. My lungs felt like they might explode. I couldn't get a deep breath of air. I started questioning every decision I'd ever made about wanting to climb to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. But once I reached the summit, I was exhausted, but I felt invincible. And that's what hard things do. They give us those summit moments that remind us we're so much stronger than we think. Now, let's talk about how hard things build grit. You know that feeling when you're knee deep in a project or a situation that feels impossible? Maybe you're trying to assemble IKEA furniture without crying. Or maybe you're navigating a career change or a tough relationship, or maybe you're like me and you're in this endless remodel and you've been remodeling your house for 3 years and things just are not going well. Well, that is the grit growing phase. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and let's face it, sometimes it downright sucks. But here's the thing, grit is not born in comfort zones. It's forged in the fire of, I don't know if I can do this. And guess what? We as women, we're really good at grit. Think about all the hats we wear, all the plates we spin. We're masters of showing up and getting it done even when it's hard. But doing hard things isn't just about proving our strength, it's about growth. Every challenge teaches us something. Maybe it's patience or problem solving, how to deal with difficult people in difficult situations, or how to ask for help when we need it. I am not very good at asking for help when I need it. But doing hard things pushes us to evolve and to become the next version of ourselves. I actually had a really good conversation with my mom about this morning. My mom took a big gap between her careers. She's a nurse. And she worked, and then she stopped working, and she had children. And then once we were all in school, or a little before we were all in school, she needed to go back to work to support and provide for our family. I talked to my mom about this, how as adults, there's all these evolutions in our lives. There's all these points where things just change. I look at my own life, and it was like I was an athlete. And then I was an Army officer, and the Army was my career. And then I got out of the Army, and then I started a small business, and I raised my children. And then I bought an outdoor retail store, and then I bought a ski shop, and I ran my businesses while my children were in school. And then I had cancer, and that was a defining moment of my life. And then I sold my shops, and then now I'm just going 100% into Hike Like a Woman. And I can't really see a point in my life where it was just smooth sailing. This is just how it is. There's always a transition. There's always a change. But if we're not evolving, we're kind of staying still, and we're kind of just being stagnant. And what's the point? A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Isn't that true? So growth happens when we're willing to step into the unknown, to risk failure, to accept the evolutions that are coming, and to keep on going even when things get tough. And also, let's not forget this. Going through hard things can help inspire other people. When we take on challenges, we're not just growing ourselves, we're lighting a way for those around us. We are shining our headlamp on the trail, and we're saying, follow me, I know the way. Isn't that beautiful? Think about a time when you've seen a friend or a family member do something hard. Didn't it make you feel like you could do it too? That's the power of example. And we have this incredible opportunity to lift each other up through our own courage. And when we say, yes, this is hard, but I'm doing it anyway, we're telling every woman around us that she can do it too, right? Yes, climbing to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro is hard, but I did it. And you can do it too, right? That's the example we're setting when we choose to do hard things. It's different when hard things are placed upon us that we don't choose to do, right? But when we choose to hard things, I just think there's so much power in the ability to share that experience with others and to show them the way. But I think there's something really satisfying about conquering a challenge. It is like that amazing bacon cheeseburger after a really hard hike, right? There's joy in the struggle, but when the struggle ends and you get to enjoy the victory, there is even more joy in the victory. So why should we do hard things? Right? Why do I even care about this? Well, doing hard things makes us strong. They help us grow, they inspire others, and they remind us that we're capable of doing incredible things. So now it's your turn. What's a hard thing you've done recently, and what did it teach you? Or maybe there's a challenge you've been avoiding. What would it look like if you just turned around and faced it head on? I'd love to chat about this. You can find me over on Instagram, Facebook, or email hi@hikelikeawoman.com. I'd love to hear about your challenges, and I would love to cheer you on because that's why I'm here and that's why I do what I do. So thanks for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to share it with a friend who might need a little nudge to take on their next challenge. So until next week, keep hiking, keep striving, and keep doing hard things. You've got this. Cheers. Hey, if you've liked the show, I know you're going to love joining us for an upcoming group trip. Head on over to our website, hikelikewoman.com.